And in our top business story, limited sources of funding to start small businesses in Dubai is holding back growth in the SME sector and is a major gap that needs to be addressed, according to a new report by Dubai SME, the agency of the Department of Economic Development. The organization, which is mandated to develop the small and medium enterprise sector, raised the concern in its State of SME Equity Investment in Dubai report. It has called for a robust insolvency and bankruptcy regime for onshore companies in the UAE and exploring the option of a secondary market, which would allow small and mid-sized companies to list without complex regulatory preconditions. It also noted that the total value of capital investments in SMEs across Dubai amounted to nearly 110 million dirhams in 2014 and is expected to grow by 15% in the near term on the back of a 30% growth in the number of deals. Dubai SME launched the Equity Investment Initiative in 2014 with the goal of unlocking investment and funding in SMEs and entrepreneurial projects. The second phase of the initiative will witness the launch of Dubai Ventures Network to raise awareness on the importance of equity investment in SMEs and to create an ecosystem for equity investment in SMEs by involving all key players to facilitate the development of a supportive regulatory framework for SME equity investment. Nearly 4 in 10 Abu Dhabi tenants whose leases were renewed in the first 3 months of the year had no increase in rent. Just over 60% of the rents increased by a small amount, 38% stayed the same, and 1% were actually cut, according to a report by MPM Properties, Abu Dhabi Islamic Bank's property consultancy. The data comes from transactions in the bank's portfolio of more than 23,500 homes managed by MPM. According to MPM's chief executive, rents should continue to fall slightly in the next few months, but the effect could be counterbalanced by a slowdown in the supply of new homes. It was added that in the report that the residential market is expected to see less than 2% housing stock growth in 2016 versus an average of 4.5% a year over the past 7 years. A separate report from another property consultancy, Clutton's, suggests that there is a shortage of affordable homes, but there is also reduced demand for high-end apartments because some companies in the capital are cutting housing allowances for their staff. Clutton said some landlords had recognized the issue and were beginning to reduce rents or offer greater flexibility in payment terms, with some accepting quarterly checks. The HR Tech MENA Summit kicked off in Dubai today as experts focused on enabling smart services to drive human capital development and organizational performance. Experts at the conference added that a potential obstacle to the adoption of appropriate HR technology is the incorrect application at business organizations. They also spoke of the latest trends in HR technology, such as the growing preference for SaaS, or software as a service, as a delivery model for nearly every HR technology vendor because of the advantages for both the vendor and the client. There is also a rapid expansion of HR technology into a mobile system that can be accessed on any device. They also emphasized that in any type of economic climate, the smartest investments will be made by organizations who can quantify and articulate the benefits of what they are buying. Moreover, HR specialists pointed out that it is easy to get caught up in the newest technology innovations and lose sight of the underlying business value that HR is tasked to deliver. The real differentiation between HR technology projects that succeed or fail is often the other important matters, including the organization's culture, automation readiness, tendency for change and change management, as well as employee engagement.
So Inspectivity is an HR consultancy based in Dubai, and we offer cost-efficient value solutions that address performance gaps for organizations' most important asset, people. And one of the technologies that we're using is video interviewing. And the reason why we thought this would be important is that we live and work in a community where a lot of the people that come are expats. And it is probably very expensive to bring people from different parts of the world to interview them and then realize or find out that they may or may not suitable for the job. So the technology of video interviewing is a simple and cost-efficient way in which recruiters and organizations can just record a video of their company, the job and so on, and send it out to as many people as they want, and then the candidates would fill in, through video recording as well, would fill in videos about themselves, about questions that are related to the job that they're applying for, and then the link goes back to the recruiter, they can make a decision, they can share it with somebody else, and so on. So it's a very robust tool, and it saves a lot of cost, and it also is good for employer branding.
We've seen that there is a lot of growing potential here in the Middle East. Of course, if you compare to the United States or Europe or the Western market or even Asian market, Middle East is yet to be educated when it comes to smart technology. Of course, the HR officials are ready to embrace the technology front. They're ready to make the investment. But there is a little bit of disconnect between HR and IT department. So which is why we have come up with this platform where we can get both heads of HR and IT department under one roof, where we can educate of how the technology can help them revolutionize and into turning it into a smart HR function. See, considering the fact that today's economic situation, what it is right now in the Middle East, of course companies are looking for different ways to reduce cost. I think technology is the best way which can help them reduce cost by implementing certain solutions. Also identifying, because talent management has become the key. Because they're not able to identify the right talents which is needed for the role here. Of course, we have nationalization programs which are running here in the region, but it does require adequate skill sets, which is where technology comes into picture as well, because everybody is talking about gamification, datafication, cloud. So I think these are solutions way forward.
The Dubai Financial Market and Abu Dhabi Securities Exchange have announced that at the end of the financial reporting season, 98% and 97% of its companies respectively have met their deadlines to report Q1 results within 45 days of the end of the first quarter. 46 UAE public joint stock companies listed on the DFM successfully disclosed their quarterly results, while one company, Gulf General Investments, missed the cutoff date. In addition, two duly listed companies, Al Madina for Finance and Investment and International Financial Advisors, missed the deadline to provide the exchange with a reviewed interim financial report by external auditor as per the UAE Securities and Commodities Authority and DFM requirements. In Abu Dhabi, the ADX said that 64 listed companies out of 66 disclosed their first quarter financial statements for 2016, while the combined net profit of all listed companies have shown a 2% increase in comparison to the same period in 2015. The highest recorded increase was in the insurance sector, with an increase of 32.5%, followed by the real estate sector with an increase of 16%.